Today, we're diving into a real cosmic mystery. It's about a visitor from another star system, an object named 3I Atlas. At first, it just looked like a quiet, calm traveler passing through our neighborhood. But turns out it was hiding a pretty incredible secret. So what if that secret was actually a signal? And look, when I say signal, I don't mean a message from aliens. This was something completely different. A physical sign, an organized echo from a chaotic past that has scientists completely rethinking what these interstellar objects can even be. So let's start at the beginning, with the very first observations. When astronomers first spotted 3I Atlas, it looked, well, pretty standard. Just a dense core with a faint little halo around it. But there was this one tiny detail that just didn't seem right. And this comparison really tells the whole story. On the left, you've got the textbook expectation, right? A perfectly round, totally symmetrical cloud of dust and gas. But over on the right, that's what scientists actually saw. See that little extension down to the lower right? That tiny, subtle asymmetry was the clue that started to unravel this entire mystery. That one little inconsistency was all it took to kick off a much, much deeper investigation. Scientists had to figure it out. Was this just some weird visual glitch, a smudge on the lens, or was it the very first hint of something way more significant? It was time to find the signal hidden in all that noise. So they started throwing more advanced imaging techniques at it, and almost immediately using color enhancement, they saw the glow of the inner cloud, the coma, wasn't centered at all. It was kind of pushed off to one side. This meant the brightest, most active spot wasn't the object's core. And then, this faint band of light started to appear, the very first sign of some kind of structured, organized outflow of material. To get an even better look, they had to bring out the big guns, a really specialized digital tool called the Larsen-Secchi rotating gradient filter. Now, you can basically think of this thing as forensic software for astronomy. Its entire purpose is to digitally remove the blinding glare from a bright object so you can see all the faint, delicate structures hiding just behind it. And when they applied that filter, wow, the result was absolutely stunning. In the research team's own words, a sharp beam pattern dominates the image. That faint little hint they saw before, it wasn't a smudge, it wasn't a glitch, no way. It was a concentrated directional jet of material being shot out from this object. Now look, before you make a huge claim like that, you have to be absolutely positive it isn't just some kind of technical error. So to be sure, they used 4 totally independent ways of processing the data, and every single one of them revealed the exact same structure. When all 4 methods agree, the chance of a mistake is basically 0. The signal was real. Okay, so this is the crucial point. We have a confirmed, steady jet of material blasting out of an interstellar visitor. The next logical question is, why? What in the universe could possibly cause this? And this brings us to the next phase of the investigation, lining up the suspects. Scientists came up with a few leading theories. One idea is deep fissures, that the sun is heating up these deep cracks inside the object, causing an unbalanced eruption, kind of like it's breaking apart from the inside. Another theory suggests a stratified core, that it's made of different layers of material that all react to heat differently. Then there's a more exotic idea involving supervolatiles, basically compounds we don't even have in our solar system. Or maybe the jet isn't a reaction at all, but an inertial remnant, a kind of physical memory of the violent way it was formed. You know, every single one of those theories points to an object with a really complex and unusual history. But the biggest clue to that history didn't come from looking closer at 3I Atlas itself. It came from looking at pictures of some of the most violent places in the entire universe. I mean, this is the key question that connects everything, right? An object that's layered or fractured or filled with exotic stuff, it had to have been born in a very specific, very special kind of place. So where could that possibly be? The answer, it seems, is exactly that, from the most violent places in the universe. To find where a strange, fractured object like this comes from, scientists had to look for cosmic environments chaotic enough to build it in the first place. And this is where the James Webb Space Telescope provides the crucial piece of the puzzle. JWST recently took these incredible images of colliding dwarf galaxies. These are cosmic train wrecks where gas gets stretched and material is literally torn apart by gravity. Well, it turns out these turbulent, chaotic zones are the perfect factories for creating weirdly shaped, layered objects. And all of a sudden, the strange behavior of 3I Atlas made perfect sense. It was totally consistent with an object that was forged in exactly that kind of chaos. So let's just step back and put all the pieces of this puzzle together. We start with what looks like a quiet visitor. It turns out to be an active object, shooting out a jet. And that strange behavior points to a violent origin story written billions of miles away in the heart of a galactic collision. So what have we actually learned here? Well, for one, we now know 3I Atlas is not just some passive chunk of rock and ice. It's an active object, firing a stable, organized jet of material out into space. We also know this bizarre behavior points to a really complex internal structure, a structure that was almost certainly forged in a chaotic, turbulent place, like where two galaxies collide. And that leaves us with a final, absolutely fascinating question. Is 3I Atlas just a one-off, a rare freak of nature, or is it the very first clue we've ever found to a whole new class of interstellar messengers, objects born in chaos, carrying the story of their violent past across the galaxy for us to find? It's a powerful reminder that some of the most profound signals from the cosmos don't come from some intelligence, but from history itself.